Thank you all. Consider yourselves getting a standing ovation from me. Everyone keeps saying how brave, how wonderful, and thank you for coming. And I cannot tell you what an opportunity this is for me. Who gets to look at the man who saved their life and thank him in person and talk to him and learn from him? And you have such a cadre of marvelous people working towards such an exciting and crucial and human end. The interesting thing about this very award, this celebration that's now 7 years old, that's biblical, isn't it? 7 years of famine. So, well, the thing about the 100 is that it calls upon that in each of us to contribute what we have, be it funds, be it baking a cake. In my case, I have a notoriety. People know me. They have taken me into their homes as family from the old. In 1970, we started doing Rhoda on Mary's show. So I'm kind of got this extended family. So I have a microphone. So that's what I'm going to contribute, along with other things. But the idea is that don't thank me for doing this. I must thank you for doing what you're doing so that I can talk about it and wake people the hell up. You know? Dear sweet women who, in my experience, get a lot done. They just do. I mean, men do too, but women have kind of pulled the, what's that mother? Courage, the wagon, yeah. And they don't know that the number one cancer for them is lung cancer. Since in 1987, more women have died of lung cancer than of breast cancer. And God bless the pink ribbons and the women marching. And you take nothing from the other kinds of cancer, but by God, you have got to start paying total attention to lung cancer because it kills more men and women than any other cancer. And in my opinion, you have to take a very close look at people's. When you say lung cancer, the first question, did they smoke? Was she a smoker? And what that is human nature to say, I don't smoke, I'm safe. But the truth is, and I'm sorry to bring this news, but this group is very receptive to this. If you have lungs, you are in line for lung cancer. And you better get really focused on the fabulous work and the preventive looking for how do we not just treat it, how do we find it quickly at a very early detection. That's what happened for me. And the work being done by this incredible institution and the wonderful people. See, it's the people that have their shoulders to the wheel that are fighting the good fight. And that is what is so thrilling for me. For me, they found my lung cancer in 2009 by accident. I needed to get my wrist, which was broken and had been hurting me for 2 years, but dancers don't ever acknowledge that they have anything wrong. So you keep on working and doing. But finally, they said, well, let's do it. Let's get your wrist fixed. And I had to get a chest x-ray, and I did. And my doctor looked at it, my regular just GP, wonderful doctor. He said, Valerie, there's something, we gotta do it, let's look at it, let's MRI. And then I was on the surgeon's table, and they took it out, and I was cured of lung cancer surgically. And I had 5 years of complete test, thank you. Yeah, I know you're clapping for me. But, and my Dr. McKenna said, I did VATS, by the way, another incredible recent surgical thing that is incredible. It's visually assisted thoracic surgery. And it's a miracle because my mommy in 1970 had the same kind of cancer, also a non-smoker, and she had the whole huge incision, lifting the ribs, long, tough recovery. I didn't have that. I had this VATS procedure, and I was on the stage like a month later doing a show. So it's incredible in that period of time what has occurred and what is occurring. And when I talked to Dr. Haber's colleague, Jeffrey Engelman, it was just the most thrilling thing to look at that lab that's coming, and the one that's opening in a few weeks. And I looked at cancer, a cancer cell from a patient through the test tube, and they don't have to take a biopsy. They can work from that. I mean, and then they've got this other thing you guys are going to be hearing about, where they're making the little blood cells line up in a line, and then the green ones, which are cancer, get out of here. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's like, well, you know, science fiction, but it isn't. But here's the terrible news, along with the brilliant horizon, this incredible vista of possibility for all of us, is the thing stopping us is funding. Funding for the research. Funding to get those processes and discovery mechanisms and ways of finding things. To keep that going is really, that's going to be my interest, my commitment, and each one of you here can do in your own way your own contribution. And just think, it's not just 100, it's now 700, plus all their friends and family and people they've enrolled. So it's starting to be, as they talked about, a critical mass of agreement brings something into being. That's physicists will tell you that. And the wonderful Victor Hugo will tell you there's nothing so powerful in the world as an idea whose time has come. And I've gone on too long. I just want to leave you with my undying gratitude. My husband is so thrilled, Tony, that he's thrilled. He kept saying, I said, honey, there's no cure for leptomeningeal carcinomatosis. There isn't. They can't see it. It's microscopic. All they can see is the little white squiggly bits of protein snake that shows that some activity is going on, but each subsequent brain scan, I have less activity apparent. So yeah, it's great, but it's really, it's thrilling. I feel your humanity. I feel your commitment. I feel your plain old honest willingness to work. Your work ethic on this very, very special and necessary effort is thrilling to me. So thank you for having me be part of all of this. And I, as Mom used to say, I asked her, I'm 75 in August, and I asked my mom when I was very young, what is it, Mommy? She was a nurse. A cancer. And she said, well, Val, they taught us in 35 in Calgary General Hospital, where she's trained, it's a group of cells growing atypically. And I think of those people tonight, the 50-year people that Dr. Ryan was speaking of. Is it Dr. Ryan? Yes, Dr. Ryan, who opened the program. About, I'm sorry, I have digressed, but he was speaking of 50 years, and I think of those brave, heroic, just thrilling human beings that were fighting a fight that they maybe felt they couldn't win. Can you imagine stepping into the fray? Well, can you imagine? You're doing it. But at that time, to start out fighting cancer, trying to burn, burn, poison, or cut. That was what was happening. We are at a precipice. We really are on the cusp of this incredible thing, aided by the internet, by the new way of thinking. And as Dr. Engelman said yesterday, he said, Valerie, it's a new day. It's a generational thing where people are thinking differently and speaking differently and acting differently. And here is all this just wealth of things before us. So I just want to say I am so happy to have partners like you. I really, yes, and who are on the job, focused, and let's just keep sharing the word I'm doing a thing with, I quickly want you to hear, the American Lung Association has teamed up with CVS, who have stopped selling tobacco products in all their stores. And it's an initiative to teach women about lung cancer being so threatening to them and what they can do about it, and getting rid of the stigma of smoking. I mean, no one should be smoking. We know this. It's terrible, and no one should. But the point is that that's not all that's causing the lung cancer, and you cannot use it to stigmatize the lung cancer patient. And I'm living proof. Here I am. Anyway, I am talked too much, but that's what I'm going to do on behalf of getting rid of cancer.